David Fifita, let's do it straight off the top. Now, this is in the last couple of hours, so he's backflipped, as many people that are listening to us now would know. What I want to know is who dumped who, because at 7:35, the Titans issue a press release saying he's decided that he's going to activate his player option to stay with the club for a further 2 years, and then it's 5 minutes later, the Roosters came out and said we've withdrawn our offer. Yeah. So.
It's like
he broke up with him or the other one?
It's like the school program. I broke up with my girlfriend. Actually, she dumped me. Yeah.
Roosters don't get dumped very often.
It's a funny game, rugby league, isn't it?
It really is.
Isn't it a funny game?
What's changed?
Isn't it a funny game?
Weird. What's changed? I don't get it.
Well,
why would you wake up and go, you know what, I'm staying?
They're footballers, mate. They're footballers. Try dealing with them every day of the week.
Oh, God.
Football. God knows what's happened.
So the Titans said...
Who was coach of Manly when Des backflipped on the Titans? I think Bozo caused the backflip.
Oh, Daly, you mean? DCE.
DCE. Who
yeah,
was that?
Bob Fulton. No, Des was coach, but Bob Fulton engineered the whole thing.
Yeah. And now Des is part of a backflip now with Fifita. I wonder if Des had anything to do with it. Or he just woke up one morning and said, no, they get a cooling off period.
Yes.
They get a cooling off period and they get a 10-day cooling off period. And there's also the opportunity for the incumbent club to match any offer that's been put forward by a rival club.
And so this was part of an overhaul, if you like, from last year where the NRL implemented a whole, and you know better than me, a new structure around this where there was a cooling off period, but existing clubs also had last rights on a bid.
There's been a cooling off period for some time, but now there's a last right. So if you've got a player that's been signed by another club, the incumbent club's got 10 days to renegotiate their position on that matter and give them last shot at it. So whether that's happened or not, or whether Davis just woken up one morning and said, well, he's woken up this morning and said, you know what, I don't want to go to the Roosters. He's now been quoted, David Fifita, in saying that his family was a big part of this decision and all his family's on the Gold Coast. Like he didn't know that last week before he made the decision to tell the Roosters he was coming. Look, I said on 100% footy on Monday night, number one, I couldn't understand why I couldn't understand the strategy in Roosters in signing Fifita. And I also couldn't understand David Fifita pushing himself out of his comfort zone to go to the Roosters. I just didn't think it was going to suit either party. Not saying that what I had to say had any influence on it, but maybe he's gone home and had a think about it and thought, you know what, I'm pretty comfortable here. They had a win on the weekend. He would have been feeling good about that. All those Titans fans who were booing him on the weekend have now got to make up, and all the Rooster fans who were so happy about him are now giving it to him and saying we didn't need him. It's a funny game, rugby league.
But don't you think David Fifita needs to be pushed out of his comfort zone to get the best out of himself? That's what we were sort of saying last week.
Yeah, well, he's pretty comfortable up there. He's on good money and he's... I don't know what motivates people or what makes them tick or what their aspirations are. He's saying now that he's happy with the direction the club is taking. Well, why didn't he feel that way last week? He had the option in his favour last week to a new contract, which I believe is very lucrative. As I understand it, it was more money than what he was going to take from the Roosters, or Panthers for that matter, because he spoke to both clubs. I think, not that it's gone the right way or this is how it should have been done, but I'm never comfortable with the two top teams in the competition, Penrith and Roosters, being able to take the best player out of the club at the bottom who's struggling. I don't like that. I don't like, that's not my way that movement amongst clubs should take place. Personally, I think Roosters have dodged a bullet.
Dodged a bullet?
I think they've dodged a bullet. I don't think he was going to suit them. I really don't. I found it a strange signing for them. I'll stand by that. I'm not saying David Fifita is not a good player. He's a powerful ball runner and he's obviously an impact player and he can certainly win games for you. I just didn't see him, from what I've seen him in his career, fitting into their work ethic. And I said it to some Rooster fans that I know that I'm very close to. I said I don't understand it. They were very excited about it. Well, now today they're saying, well.
So what makes you think David Fifita doesn't have the capabilities of suiting that hard-working culture?
I didn't say he had the capabilities. I just say I haven't seen it in his career to date. I haven't seen it in his career to date.
Yeah.
He's not what I would call a work ethic player. He's a powerful ball runner, who virtually give me the ball and I'll run over them. It's like under 7 stuff. He's not, even on the weekend watching him defensively, I'm thinking he'd have a lot of work to do to fit into a Roosters club that prides itself on fitness and work ethic and defensive mindset. He didn't strike me as a Rooster player.
What do you see in his defence that makes you question that?
Well, he doesn't value it.
Right.
He doesn't value it.
He's got a few mates up there, though.
Simple as that. He likes to play when they've got the ball, but he's not so keen on it when they haven't got the ball. Now, that's a big mind shift. And maybe he thought, well, I need to go to a club that can provide that for me.
Yes.
But now he's turned around this morning and said, no, I'm not going.
Yeah. So he's taken the option, the bigger money.
What shocked me is that Roosters have all those kids in their system. They've got very good players there. To bring Fifita in, as I understood it, it would have put doubts on a couple of players they've actually got under contract and re-signing Angus Crichton, who's already there and been a proven performer. And they've got some outstanding young talent coming through the grades there. Outstanding young talent. Some really good young players who are being built up in the Rooster mould and are coming through with that defensive work ethic mindset. David Fifita's come out of completely different systems, and he's not that sort of player. Now, he can rise to the occasion. He's obviously played Origin football, but on a weekly basis, from what I've seen of him, he likes it when his team's got the ball. He's not that keen on it when the opposition's got it. It's as simple as that. So I didn't see it as a good fit for the Roosters.
When you say dodge a bullet, do you mean for the money they're spending?
Yeah, I thought
the return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I thought when they paid all that money for him, again back on 100% footy back in the day, when Gold Coast paid all that money for him to get him out of Brisbane, I didn't see the value in it. I thought it was way overpriced, and it had a marked effect on the market. That if he was able to get that amount of money at that young an age and that bigger contract, what were the really established representative class forwards worth? And if the forwards were worth that much, well, now what are the playmakers worth? And everyone takes their lead off, what contracts are advertised. And I've got nothing against David Fifita. David Fifita's a handful. I mean, if you're playing against David Fifita, he's in your game plan because, he can hurt you. He can score tries from anywhere. He's very, very capable when he's got the ball in hand. He's a huge human being. He can run really quick. He makes people miss. He's got offloads in him. He's an attacking machine. But, it's just my personal opinion. I don't think the Roosters should be too disappointed, to be honest.
Okay. He was prominent for Queensland in Origin last year, having spent some time out of that team. So clearly Billy Slater sees benefit in having him in the team in that system where they are, effort is Queensland's mantra at Origin. Yeah. So maybe for that 3-game period,
he's also playing with a lot of players that do have that work ethic and that.
All right, there you go.
It's just my opinion.
This is your podcast.
Well, I just personally, I don't know how the Roosters feel. Personally, I think they've dodged a bullet, and I think if a person does backflip, you've got to be thinking, well.
He mightn't have been our man.
Mightn't have been our man in the first place.
Would you say the same about Penrith?
Well, I don't know what happened to Penrith. He chose Roosters over Penrith at the time. Now, whether that was a lifestyle thing, living near the beach, whether he didn't want to live at Penrith, I don't know. I don't know what his decision was for choosing one over the other. It might have been money for all.
Neither do I. It's very odd.
We don't know what it was. Maybe the pressure of going to a team that's won 3 premierships in a row. And if I go there, how do I keep that role going? I'll be judged differently. I don't know. I don't know what the decision was or the thinking by choosing Roosters over Penrith. Could have been money, could have been lifestyle, could have been location, could have been a number of things. But in the end, he decided, I've got to leave the Gold Coast and I'm going to the Roosters. All right, decision made. Make the announcement, create the headlines, break people's hearts at the Gold Coast, get booed by his fans on the weekend, come out and have a win. Wednesday morning, no, I'm going to stay.
So bizarre.
I'm going to stay.
Yes. Very odd.
It's a funny game.